Greetings, gentlemen and ladies, of course. Welcome on the webinar called Making Effective Use of Storage Virtualization. My name is Anatoly Vilchinsky. I'm Technical Solution Engineer at StarWind Software Incorporated, and I'm really glad to see all of you here. Today I will tell you about how StarWind can help you to benefit from the storage virtualization, from having a shared storage in general, and what enterprise features can it offer, well, for SMBs. But first, let's take a quick look at today's agenda. First, we'll see what the business objectives of having StarWind or, well, SAN in your environment. Then we will see what StarWind features it can offer. You will see all the list, and we will take a quick specification of each. Then we will see how you can benefit from StarWind in general. Then we'll take a quick look at backup plugin, what it can do, and the main pros and advantages. After all of that theoretical part, we will have the live demonstration. And well, I'll show you how it's easy to configure, how it's easy to install it there. And after, you will have ability to ask me any question that you want, and all the questions will be answered. Predicting one of the questions, yes, this webinar is recording, and the record will be available soon on our website on a video session. Stay tuned. Okay, let's dive deep. Why do you actually need the SAN and StarWind especially? StarWind can allows you to have your business continuously up and running. Well, obviously it's describing by having the availability feature and all other StarWind features and devices types that it can offer. StarWind can offer you the centralized management of your SAN, of your backup plugin, and even little management functions for your virtual machines. StarWind does support clustering. By the way, it was one of the first ones who started to supporting SCSI repurchase and reservation for storage spaces, which came up in 2012 Windows Server Operation System. Well, obviously, StarWind is shared storage. StarWind can offer you disaster recovery features, and disaster recovery is one of the cornerstones of the business continuity. By the way, the quick list is snapshots on the first place, second is availability, and third is disaster recovery. Basically, we're talking about replication. Without having any of those features, you cannot guarantee that your business will be running continuously. StarWind supports virtualization. Moreover, it was designed to work in the virtualized environments. So, well, in our test labs, we always performing all the required tests. Currently, we are certified with Windows Server 2012 and 2008, obviously, and we are working to have the VMware certification. Also, we are always trying to do our best to get our software to work with Citrix, and this is really not the easiest part of our work, because Citrix representatives admitting that yes, Citrix Zen server need to have the iSCSI stack improved at least a little bit, to make the use and management of this application easier. Zen server, not StarWind, of course. StarWind can offer you the reduced disk space consumption. I will explain how a little bit later. We'll have to get its slides. StarWind can offer you to lower your TCO, total cost of ownership. Well, let's just finish this list by saying every option. StarWind is scalable. It's really easy to make the hardware refresh. With StarWind, you don't need downtime. Well, this is a quick option. StarWind can offer you the off-site replication. StarWind is really highly performable, especially depends on the product that you will use. I mean, not really product, but the configurations that you will use. we'll talk about it a little bit later as well. StarWind can be used for cloud computing. Moreover, it's already using for by some cloud companies, and you can use StarWind to build your NAS, which is can be considered as SAN NAS infrastructure. Let's dive deeper to the StarWind features. First of all, this is three-way synchronous mirroring, also known as active-active-active mode, which is really beneficial for those people who want to benefit from having a SAN in a non-stop 24/7 production environment. And by the way, what is also important, it can actually lower your total cost of ownership. I'll say how exactly on when we will have the slide dedicated to this option. We have the asynchronous van replication, which is actually the cornerstone of the disaster recovery. Yeah, the slide says that it's coming soon, but we already have it as experimental feature, which comes up with a deduplication device. In a future release that's coming really soon, I think that we will release it in months or two. I would say two, to be honest. And this should be really awesome because you will be able to have everything, all the features, all the benefits of StarWind running on the same device, on the same storage. You will be able to create HA and replicate from it and take snapshots from it, and all of the data that will be uploaded to this storage will be deduplicated, so you will not spend a lot of money for, I mean, huge amount of money for the storage, for the physical storage, for the hard drives and the RAID arrays. And next is snapshots and continuous data protection. Well, this is really, as I said previously, one of the cornerstones of business continuity. Why? Because HA provides you ability to have, well, say downtime or some minor or major failures on one of the nodes, on maybe on one of the sites, depending on the environment type, on the structure of the system. But it doesn't eliminating the problem of having, well, let's say for having viruses. If one of your virtual machines or some data will be infected by a virus, or the file will be deleted, HA will not help you in this case. That is why you need a snapshot. You will be able to restore in any point of time that you have created with CDP option. Also, CDP option comes up with sync provisioning functionality, which means that you will not use really a lot of disk space. You will use only that space that you actually require. For example, if you will create the, let's say, 1 terabyte device, but you will upload only 100 gigs on it, it will consume 100 gigs on the actual storage space on this hosting server, and not, well, a couple of gigs more probably, but well, I think it will just simply not count when comparing to 90 gigs that are left. Well, basically, SIM provision also makes the system a little bit flexible because you can create 10 1 terabyte devices on hard drives that has 1 terabyte capacity, and this is beneficial as well, as for me. Global deduplication. Global deduplication is coming soon, but we already have the deduplication. The difference is that, well, I think, and I can bet that everyone here that comes up with it, came and attended this webinar, know what deduplication is. Well, just a quick reminder for some case. Deduplication is a technology that allows to eliminate the data blocks that are already there on the storage and replace it with a reference. For example, if you have 100 virtual machines, well, fresh installed Windows 2008, that basically means that you have hundreds of copies of the operation system installation. So with duplication, you will be able to do not waste the space on all the hundreds of installations. You will waste only for one. Well, probably there will be a little bit more, but also as I said previously, this simply doesn't count because it will be, well, it will take space for, let's say, 20 virtual machines, maybe a little bit more, little bit, but a little bit less, but it will not take the space for one whole entire 100 machines. And the global duplication is beneficial because uh, it will work for all the data that will stored on all the StarWind. I mean, on all the devices. The duplication that we have already now, yeah, it's great, but it's working only per device basis. Uh, that means that if you have 50 virtual machines on one duplication device and 50 on another one, they will not be cross duplicated, but they will with global duplication. That's why we need it. That's why we're waiting for it. Next is cluster scale out NAS. Well, basically the name is saying for itself. We'll have it. We expect it. We will have improved, simplified management of this function, of this feature, and are really waiting for this as well, because we all realize that SMB requires not only the sense but only the NASes. And not only virtualized environments are there in a company, there are also the users, some account managers that require simple files. And here is the place where NAS should be installed and configured, not the same, because, well, actually we had a dedicated topic about difference between SAN and NAS, and I think it explains a lot. You can find it in our in our on our website in the video section. As far as I remember, it called Storage Evolution. That was conducted by me, by the way. Okay, let's move forward. Image files. Image files is like the VHDs for Microsoft. It's a virtual hard drive that can be used, that are used to store the data on them. The difference is that those image files are used to be shared over the iSCSI with StarWind. Uh, Basically, it gives you the flexibility. It gives you the scalability because you are not using all entire hard drive. You're using only some part of it to create this image file. Oh, that's it. And high-speed caching, of course. This is one of the cornerstones of performance. Having cache is good because RAM is consuming RAM disks. I mean, and not RAM disk, I'm sorry, is consuming random access memory, and we all know that it is extremely fast. Well, and here is where caching comes into play. Without having cache, we cannot guarantee, nobody can guarantee that you will have great performance. Yeah, there are some, there are some SAS drives that are also fantastically fast. There are RAID arrays that can boost the performance as well. You can combine SASs and RAIDs, but we're talking about money here. SASs are expensive, RAID, well, they also cost money. Having cache will significantly increase it. Random access memory is not so expensive as SAS, so even RAIDs have cache, no matter if they are with replication functionality or performance booster functionality. So having cache is necessary. Everybody knows it well. And now we will talk how you can lower your TCO with StarWind Solutions. Uh, StarWind uses industry standard hardware, saving money on expensive sandboxes. Which basically means that if you have some server that is not used by some serious jobs, serious tasks, but it's still powerful. It has pretty good not the latest probably, but pretty good hardware. You can actually install StarWind there. Well, to be honest, StarWind can be installed even on laptops. It's not supported configuration, but it will work. It will function as it should. So yeah, you do need to spend a fortune to have SAN. Next option is just proving the thing that I just said. It's StarWind runs on your existing hardware, thus delivering up to 50% hardware cost saving compared to classic SAN, which means that you shouldn't have the dedicated boxes for the SAN if we are talking about the native SAN product. From the right side of the diagram, you can actually see a little bit difference. From the top, there is a diagram uh, for the, let's say, classic, pretty commonly used configuration. On the top, you see the Hyper-V, two Hyper-V servers. It can be E6, it can be Citrix, it can be SQL Server. So Hyper-V is just an example. And below you can see the StarWind boxes. Well, basically SAN. And what I was talking about cutting down expensive for 50% is native SAN configurations that you can see on the diagram below. This configuration supports only for the Microsoft users, for the Hyper-V users. So for example, it can be also SQL Server users. Basically, you are installing the StarWind on the same partition where the operation system with the Hyper-V is installed. So you don't need to spend money for additional servers. You don't need to spend money for additional switches. Well, maybe it's preferable to have switches, but I'm saying that it is not required here. Well, basically you don't spend money on the servers. You don't. Well, uh, I think it was considering to possibility to not having need to spend like $15,000 for two servers approximately, and you can simply go ahead with the ones that you already have if you are a Hyper-V user. Next is what I said, data duplication saves up to 90% of storage space. It is true. It was proved by our internal test. Well, some applications are not, some files are not really greatly deduplicating and they need to be tuned. But, well, that is why we are people here. We need to do some things by ourselves manually, and its applications are not always showing the best results in as is mode. So yeah, little additional configuration and it will work. It will run. It will scream. Next is automated tiering, saves money on hard disk drives, and this feature is also coming soon. Well, what actually is automated tiering? Uh, you know that some companies have tiered storage, which means that you have them really the data that is really often under usage. Uh, then you have the backups that is really well, it's almost not using any for all time, and you have some data that is, yeah, it's using but not too often, so it's somewhere in the middle of those two. So what auto tiering will do is identifying if the data is actually actively used and moving it from one tier storage to another one depending on the usage. I think it's really great as well. Well, a little bit more deep explanation. For tier 1 storage, you can use SSD drives. For tier 2, you can use not the fastest SAS drives. For tier 3, you can use SATA drives. So basically, if you should have spent a fortune for SSDs if you can use SATAs. But if the data will start actively used, it will just be moved to SSDs. Not all of the data, just part of it, but I really think that you got my idea. If not, just ask the question. I already see some questions incoming. I will, Lucien, I will answer them in a Q&A session. Uh, Last two options are the things that I already talked about: built-in snapshots, the application, and compressed accelerate. Oh, not all of the things that I was talking about. Compressed accelerate WAN connections and eliminate the need to expensive links. Yeah, actually, in future release we will have the function, the feature, that technology, to be more exact, that allows people to have the WAN replication over the low bandwidth channels. Not everybody here can afford, can have the high speed data link between the sites. For example, well, minimally required for SAN is not even our SAN, it can be another product of another vendor. 1 gig. 1 gig is approximate minimal value of your bandwidth that you should have for replicating to the disaster recovery site. But with that WAN accelerator, it will be decreased 10 times approximately. Well, we haven't developed it yet, so we'll have exact numbers later. Uh, but still, it will be the huge improvement. Believe me, my friends. And we're done with the slide. Let's move forward. Reliability. Reliability is, well, uh, the last options on the slide says it all. It ensures 99 and 99999% uptime, which is a couple of minutes per year. Not every vendor can actually show you this number, and this is our true number. Not every vendor can show you, well, for example, because it does require the downtime for upgrade. We do not. With our solution, you can upgrade on the fly. Uh, we with the 3-node configuration, you can be absolutely sure for 99.999% that you will not have any downtime in case of some failures. With 2 nodes, you are still can be a little bit nervous if one of the servers will fail. Why? Because you have, well, if you have two servers, one fail, everything is in another one, and you, well, I would have my nerves burnt a little bit, because yeah, I would understand that everything on the server, and if anything will fail on the server, then everything will fail, and I didn't really like those talks with my boss about it. Nobody does. Yeah. So with 3 nodes, you can actually be sure that nothing will fail. Really, what is the possibility of having all the 3 nodes failed? Uh, I think we're talking about here situations where you will just simply forget about that story. Uh, what can happen? Total electricity failure, nothing will help here except the UBBs. Uh, I don't know, some human factor. If someone won't corrupt everything, he will corrupt everything, no matter how much nodes will be there. Well, I hope you get my point. And uh, starting to allow 3-node configuration allows using RAID 0 or JBOD for performance. Well, I think it's really clear here, but I'll just try to clarify a little bit. By saying allows using RAID 0, we're saying that you don't need to use RAID 1, RAID 10. Guys, don't use RAID 5. There is a site for this, battle against any RAID 5. BA well, abbreviation, so all you need, if you need RAID, you will need it only for performance if you want to decrease it, and nothing else, really. So basically, what I'm saying about what I'm talking about is that you can simply not even use RAIDs, and a lot of people use RAIDs to have some backup, to reserve copy when using 2 nodes configuration. Well, just to be sure. Uh, but with 3-node configuration, hey, you don't need the extra replication possibilities, abilities, functionality of RAIDs. So voila, just don't use it. Okay, so as I said, RAID 0 if you want the performance. StarWind is times faster than traditional storage solutions since it doesn't need to redirect all I/O requests over network. All read-write operations are performed to and from disk. It ensures twice less latency and network requests. This is the thing when we're talking about the native sense solution. Just a quick reminder, this is native sense is the diagram that we see below. And what that option told you is that all the requests are running locally. StarWind is here, image files are here, Hyper-V are here. Everything is running locally on the server, so you don't need to, IOs don't have no need to be transferred through the network. Next, inline duplication substantially reduces a number of I/O requests. And basically this is true because everything is in the cache, everything is on the table. StarWind knows about every data block that incoming, and if you and one data block is not repeated, if you'll need it, it's still on the same place on the hard drive where it was. So you do need to Spindle have no need to make additional rounds on the hard drives when we're talking about HDDs. Well, this is just one of the examples, so we can talk about the performance for really huge amount of time. Everybody knows it, but we don't have that amount of time, unfortunately. Basically, we'll have talking about for half of hour here, so I'll try to move through the webinar a little bit quicker. Local 10 gigabit channels ensures high performance rate, and this is true. Why? Because it's 10 gigabits. 10 gigabits is always good. Guys, for those users who are, this is a little tips and tricks part here. For those users who are using 1 gig channel, 1 gig NICs, and want to benefit from having MPIO on them, guys, really configure MPIO, use round robin, and do not use NIC teaming. There are a lot of talks in chats and argues about this topic. Why people do not need to team the NICs. So if you are interested in discussing it, email me. I will share my email with you later. If you agree, well, perfect, we're on the same page. And StarWind, last option on the slide, StarWind 3-node configuration tolerates 1 and 2 nodes failure with minimum performance degradation. And this is true. Why? Because everything is comparable. If we're talking about comparing 2 and 3 nodes, if you will use round robin and you will use, well, 10 gigs for iSCSI connections, if one of the servers will fail with a 3-node configuration, you will have 20 gig speed. With 2 nodes configuration, you will have 10 gig speed. If 2 nodes will fail with 2 node configuration, you will not have any speed. With 3 node configuration, you will have speed of 1. Moreover, having 3 node configuration means that you will benefit from every iSCSI channel that you will have connected to each server. So if you have 10 gigs, you will have 30 gigs in total bandwidth to send. Here's the part why I love StarWind from beginning of my experience with it. It's simplicity. It's really simple. Actually, I hadn't really great experience with the SAN technologies, with the SAN softwares, but when my colleague gave me the installer, I installed it, I configured the devices without any documentation. It's really simple in use, and you guys will see it on a remote session. So let's just take a quick look at all of the options and all the list. StarWind can be installed and configured in a couple of clicks. This is true. Easy to manage and maintain, 100% true. Centralized management console. A lot of you, I think, they saw this, and this is true again. Minimum administrative overhead during production cycle. Correct. No need for special knowledge and trainings in order to manage a sophisticated SAN or NAS. And this is so true, my friends. I had experience to work with SAN products of other vendors, and it was not the best experience that I had because, to be honest, I'm not the guy who is always using the manuals first. I'm trying to see everything and figure out everything by myself, and if I need some help, then I go into the documents. And I'm not really often using the documents because, well, a lot of products are easy to manage, but not as easy as Tarrant, of course. Well, I should say this. But from my experience with those SAN vendors that I had worked with, that was hell even to install it. Well, it was really so long, and then you need to configure it, and it was really not so obvious how to do this. Well, guys, I don't know if you had some experience. If yes, I will appreciate if you will share it with me. But, well, I love StarWind for its simplicity. That's my baseline. Okay, StarWind VMware Hyper-V Backup plugin is another product from StarWind. Actually, it's come up with a StarWind installation. So when you're installing StarWind, you already have the backup there. All you need is license. Uh, and basically, this one installation can be used to in a cross-platform environment, which means that SAN can be used for any hypervisor for any application, and backup plugin can be used to backup VMware and Hyper-V. You don't need anything else. Well, it's a really simple environment that I'm talking about, but here's the trick. You sometimes you just simply don't need anything more. It depends on the project. That's why actually companies have pre-sale support to discuss what people need. So, yeah, exclusive offer, share storage and backup solution from the same vendor, and it's eliminate the remaining 0.0001% of risk. Let's go through the backup features and benefits. It's agentless. Well, yeah, it's true. It means that you have no need to restart the server. There are some additional benefits if you I'm saying that I will not dive deep into the backup plugin topic because it was everything was explained on the previous webinar, and you guys can are welcome to go to our website and watch it. If you are interested in watching it, email me. I'll just drop you the link. So let's move forward. Global duplication. Well, that's the thing that I was talking about. Everything is duplicated. You are saving a lot of money. Native virtual machine file format. Well, backup plugins designed, the thing is that was mentioning, was designed to backup only virtual machines, VMware and Hyper-V virtual machines, and our backup is using proprietary format of the hypervisors, which are the VMDK for the VMware and the VHD for the Hyper-V. Next is sandbox mode and auto testing. Well, great features as well. Sandbox is when you are starting the virtual machine from archive in isolated mode, which means that, well, it used in for cases if you not sure if this is the snapshot that you actually need to restore from. So you're running this virtual machine in isolation in a sandbox, and you just can't see if it is it. Well, and after testing, it says by itself. Backup of multiple virtual machines simultaneously, and this is true. If you have 100, we will backup all the 100 in the same time. Full and incremental backups, instant virtual machine recovery, cross hypervisor support. All of those features are, well, they're saying by itself, and some of them are already explained, and, well, I think we've done with the theoretical part. Oh yeah, one important thing: advantages of using storage and backup solutions from the same vendor. You don't need to have a lot of windows to manage all the things. You have only one. It's centralized management console. It's really easy and familiar graphic user interface. Actually, everything is there that you need. it's in front of your eyes. If you need to find some feature, just take a look at the window. It's there. It should be there. Flat learning curve. I'm sorry. Well, I think it's really understandable here, and possibility to use cross-application features. Explained already. Great. Now let's move to the live demonstration part. In a minute, I will show you how it's really easy to create the StarWind storage, to configure it, and to run everything, well, let's say from scratch. Okay, so here, as you can see, three servers with two of them are with StarWind installed. One of them is hosting the virtual machine that is running on StarWind, but one server doesn't have anything. Let's use this machine to simulate installing from scratch. Double click on the, oh yeah, one thing that I need to explain probably. This is a StarWind installer, and this is a license key that will be used for our live demonstration. It will take a couple of minutes to download the installer from the website. After we'll get it, double click it. Say yes. Click next. Accept the license agreement. Couple of nexts. Click yes. Next, 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 and install. In a couple of minutes, we will have the product already installed and ready to be used for environments, for virtualization environments. Perfect. Voila. It's less than a minute. Okay, well, you see those host actually, because StarWind was installed here previously. I have uninstalled it, but it seems like there were some records in the registry that, well, like, you know, ghosts are here. Okay, so here is a host, local host. Let's just remove them, those ghosts. And here are the host that we are on now. Yeah, it grabbed the license already. I'll show you how to install the license here. Click on a host, click on the configuration, registration probably. Yeah, I'm talking about the simplicity. Scroll here. Let's say unregister. Here how it will look like if we wouldn't have license here. So install, load, go to location, it's on desktop, double click it and click OK. Okay, license is here. We are ready to start creating some devices. As I said, we already have the license installed on our servers, so let's just add those hosts one by one. Here. Oh yeah. How to do this? Obviously, add StarWind server. Enter the IP address or domain name. W6. It's already here. All you need is to connect. Voila. And let's add the last host. Fantastic. It's already here. Okay, so I will show you how to create the high availability image. It's really simple, and it will not eat less than 2 minutes. Oh, it will be 3 because I will explain everything. Click high availability image. Click, this is the local host, so you need to add another one. So click add. Enter the IP address or the domain name of the second host that you want to use, and if you want 3-node configuration, and we do want to use 3-node configuration, enter the IP address or the host of the third node. Click next. Enter the target alias, like target name, let it be webinar1. Specify file name for the virtual disk on the first server. Let it host on it. Yeah, why not? F drive. Let it be webinar1. I'll copy this. Since it's new, we'll create new. Specify the amount of space that you need. Let it be 15 gigs and click next. The name was already stealed from the first server, so all we need is to create the virtual disk here and specify the name. Let it be the same name. Create new, 15 gigs, great. Okay, let's give it another name. Oh yeah. Yeah. Let's just make it from E to C. Brilliant. And the same actions are for the third server. Oh yeah, we need to click in create new checkbox. Now we need to specify the IP address that will be used for the synchronization. Basically, here is 1, here is 2. And here is 3. And the heartbeat, of course. Click next. Choose a caching option, the value for cache. I will stick with default. And since device turned new, I will choose do not synchronize virtual disks and click next. Next. And finish. Well, it's test environment, so take my apologies for that. Probably we need to refresh. And enter the synchronization. Initiate synchronization. Well, you thought a little troubleshoot here. Well, take my apologies anyway. This is test environment. Sometimes this little things are happening in test environment. So, well, anyway, I'm glad that you saw that we could create the HA device for 3 minutes with all the explanations, just as I promised. Okay, now let's move forward to more significant test here. I will show you the reliability. This is virtual machine that is hosting on the StarWind. It has got some certification. You see, actually that was used to get the certification for Windows. Nevertheless, I will show you that it is running. Why to invent the bicycles? By simple pinging of this. Oops. Let it be this. Great. Now let's add the -t parameter, and it will make it constant. So it's pinging, it's running really smoothly. It's hosting on the StarWind, on one of the StarWinds. What will happen if something will get wrong with the server? Well, for example, it can be accidentally rebooted. Let's just make update and restart. Restart. Great. What's happening with the server? It's still running. what will happen if the second server will fall down for some reason? Oh, come on. That is why I don't really love Windows. Sometimes it just feels like you're participating in a click on the right pixel game. Here it is, finally. Update and restart. Continue, restart anyway. What's happening here? Everything is running smoothly. And that is, my friends, what I was actually talking about. And Stefan, thank you for the hint. Well, that's what I was talking about. Everything is running smoothly. Everything is okay. Now it's restarted. Everything is running perfectly smoothly. Uh, we can run any other application and ensure that everything is just brilliant. But we can click everything, but it will just prove one thing: virtual machine is up and running successfully. So I can think we can get back to our to our slide. Okay, after you saw how great the StarWind is, let's say that way, uh, I'll say about some promos from my company. We have a discount here. Uh, it's not typical already. Well, actually, the idea was to have 30% discount in the beginning of the month, and then it's dropping 1% in each day. So today is 27. You have got a possibility to have 5% discount. Uh, well, tomorrow it will be 4, on Friday 3, on April you probably will not have any discounts. But for those attendees who are actually joined this webinar, we have another promo. You can get another extra 3% discount off. And well, you just need to mention the code SW3% off to the sales representative, and you will get that extra discount. So if you will buy today, you will have not 5%, it will be 8% tomorrow. 7, well, you get my point. I will share the code with you just to make it a little bit simpler to to remember. As I promised, I will share with you my email if you will have any additional questions, technical questions. I mean, well, you can address a sales question to me as well, but I will still connect you with my colleague from the sales department. And this extra discount can be used with any, and this is significant, with any other special offers or promotions in March. Exception: the offer does not apply to renewals, upgrades, or support plans, and that doesn't apply for the previous this promo with the countdown discount doesn't apply for support plans and renewals as well. And how to buy StarWind? Well, this is little how-to. We have separated the products depending on the capacity. It's from 1 terabyte to 2 terabyte edition. We call it for small businesses. Well, obviously, small businesses don't have much data. Um, from 4 to up to 8 terabytes edition is for mid-size, for SMBs, and starting from the well, and everything that is more is for enterprises. You can get the pricing on the how to buy page, or contact the sales representative. I think it will be more useful to contact the sales representative. Backup plugin has its own prices. And now, gentlemen, you're welcome to ask some questions. I see that there are already some, and I will start answering them. Let's start with Mr. Lucien Dalmaso. I think I pronounced it correctly. If not, forgive me. There are some coming soon features. Coming soon is supposed to be available when? Do you have some date? Uh, Unfortunately, I haven't got the exact date, but as I said, it should be available in approximately 2 months. Uh, I see a couple of questions from people who are asking if it will be possible to share this presentation. Well, yes and no. Yes, it will be possible through the webinar record, and no, it will not be possible for me to give you the PowerPoint file. I'm sorry, guys. Uh, but if you will have some question regarding the presentation or any feedback, I'll appreciate if you let me know. Question from Stuart. Typically, how much extra load does the duplication add to the nodes? Good question, by the way. The duplication is using the CPU, additional CPU and additional RAM. And basically, this means that you will need to have additional 2 megabytes of RAM per each gigabyte of the duplication storage. So 2 megabytes for gig, uh, 2 gigabytes per terabyte. It's not so much, right? I hope that answered my question. Oh, your question, of course. Question from Craig Sales. Hi, hello. Can you confirm MPIO from all hypervisors nodes to all StarWind mirrors work in round robin? I can confirm that we do support this configuration. I'll explain why this is significant. One Sun vendor uh, offers user to install its own driver to make the work with its product more proper. But this driver on the client machine. But this driver actually makes user to use failover on the network load balancing policy and restricting having everything else. So yeah, our product does fully compatible with the round robin network load balancing policy. Another question from Craig Sales. Can you explain more on the automated tiering feature? Is it at block level, and on what frequency does the auto tiering work? Oh, Craig, I wish I could. To be honest, I'm not from R&D. I'm from a support department, and we do not know the final design that will work. Uh, but I will try to do my best, and if you will email me this question about the auto tiering, I will definitely double check with our R&D, and I will let you know everything that I actually will be able to let you know. So just email me and we'll talk about it. I think that answers the question from Steven Christensen as well. It was related to auto tiering. Uh, great question about the ODX. Is ODX supported by StarWind? No, it doesn't, but yes, it will. We have it already in our roadmap. I think it will be not the closest, not the nearest release of StarWind, but it should come up. Well, I think it should be somewhere in the summer. Another question from Stuart. If a node falls behind with its sync, if a node falls behind with its sync, is there a limit to how much data it can resync to another one? I think Stuart asked about the situation when one node was transmitting the synchronization data to another servers and it failed. Well, there is no limit, but if all the data will not be synchronized, will that mean that your data will be simply corrupted? And well, nobody wants it. The best thing that user can do in this situation is to start that node again and run the synchronization again. Uh, well, basically, they should. Yeah. By the way, what's important for StarWind 2 is that the data is always available. If the synchronization is performing, the data is available. On the moment when at least one device knows that it is synchronized, the data is becoming online. Uh, Craig, you have really great questions today. Are there any disk alignment features? Disk alignment features in StarWind? Not really. We're offering to our users to use the GPT formatting on the volume where the image files are stored. That's it. So StarWind hasn't got anything built in. I'm trying to understand how exactly it could be, but yeah, probably it would be great if StarWind could to align everything that is beneath the image files and maybe even the data that is stored on it. I will, yeah, I will talk about it with R&D. Just give me a second. I'll make a quick note about it. Piece of paper. Here it is. Disk Well, for those users who don't really understood what this question is addressing to, refers to, disk alignment is the most common reason of having the bad performance. So if something could do the automatical disk alignment, it would be really beneficial and it would eliminate the situation when people have this problem because it's really hard to investigate. Uh, well, actually, the performance issues are the most ones that are hard to investigate. Well, for me. If another question from Craig, if there are preferred operation system for StarWind, is Windows 2012 okay to proceed with, or have there been any teething issues? Uh, 2012 is perfect. 2008 is great too. Well, actually, those are the operation systems that we that are required to run StarWind. Windows 2008 R2 and Windows 2012. Next question from Claire Molman. Would you mail me the link to the webinar recording? Yeah, why? I think, yeah, actually, we will have the mass email after the webinar record will be uploaded. So, yeah, you should receive it automatically. Another question from Craig. Can you confirm that the forthing scale outness feature will support SMB3 if hosted on Windows 2012? I'm not 100% sure, but I think yes. Uh, you have got some additional questions that I have already asked you to email me. I will appreciate if you include this one as well. Thank you. If a node crashed, when it comes up again, will the synchronization happen automatically? Yeah, it's automatic. Our software support the automatical synchronization, and well, that says it all, right? So you don't need to start it manually. Are there any caching limits using RAM or SSDs? Another question from Craig. Uh, well, yes and no. There are no limits for RAM. Well, there is, but the value is really huge. I'm not really sure that some server has this value. And SSDs, I think you're referring to the level 2 cache, and well, yeah, there is a limitation. We doesn't support it. We will support it starting from the next version. Thank you for the question, Craig. But you have another one, yeah. But let's proceed with the Steve Van Christensen question. Do you use raw disk or just lay on top of the Windows NTFS disk? We do can use raw disk, but for now you should choose what option would you prefer to stick with, having raw disk or having HA, because HA are compatible with the virtual disk with the image files. In future release it should be improved as well. Can you explain a little on the data integrity checks performed on writes by StarWind before synchronization to another StarWind mirror? Great question. Uh, I don't want. I will not lie that I know this for sure. I'm not even know that I know this for 50%. Uh, I know that there are records in header that comes up with the virtual header of the virtual disk, and I think we're checking by this. Also, we have a log. Well, I think it will be. I really, really appreciate if you will include this question as well. Well, they're a great one. Great. Really, I really appreciate all the questions that you have asked already. Um, Last question from a Craig. As it was, it is really the last one. As a Vim customer, does the StarWind backup plugin offers anything more? I'm not really sure that I understood you correctly. Vim is a backup software, and the plugin is backup software. And you mean what can StarWind offer? What a backup plugin? What backup plugin from StarWind can offer? What StarWind? What Vim doesn't? Uh, well, it's a great question too. Let me remind one thing. I'm a little bit confused because they are pretty similar, and uh, give me a second. I will. Okay, so here it is. So what? Well, backup plugin can offer you some simplified but still virtual machine management. Vim doesn't offer this. Backup plugin can offer you the recovery to another VM, not to the one that it was took from. I mean, the snapshot was taken from. It has auto testing. Vim doesn't. And I want to be pretty honest with you. There are some functions that Vim do have, unlike StarWind. Vim can backup the whole entire ASX host configuration. Our product cannot do this for now. And unfortunately, StarWind backup plugin cannot adjust the backup jobs. So if you have configured it once, you are not able to change it in the future, unfortunately, of course. Well, and obviously, StarWind is cheaper. As far as I know, it costs something like $400, and Vim costs 4,000, as far as I know. Okay, question from Stuart. Do you recommend any particular network card? 10 gigs, of course. And no, the StarWind is hardware agnostic. To put it simple, we don't care what will host on what will host the StarWind if it fits the minimal requirements. And another question from Stuart: does StarWind cope with different latency network connections? Example: two nodes on one side and one node on another side with slightly slower latency. Uh, well, it will work. I think it will be better to use Alua for this when you can use what nodes are preferred, what passes are preferred, and what are does not. So yeah, Starwind do actually can work uh, in the non-symmetrical environments, let's say in that way. And another question from Craig: do you have any benchmark testing results? Uh, well, yeah, we have actually, but I don't really think that it worth to share it. Why? Because StarWind works with the speed of the hardware that is installed on. The bottleneck of StarWind will be the bottleneck of all the system. If you have RAID 5 and 10 gig network, RAID 5 with SATAs and 10 gig network interface cards, that basically means that RAID will be the bottleneck. If you have RAID 10 and 1 gig network interface cards, Torrent will work with 1 gig Ethernet speed. And that's it. I'm not sure that you know, but a couple of years ago, Intel and Microsoft conducted the performance test, and they used the StarWind as a SAN solution for the test. And they actually achieved the result of 1 million IOPS, which is really great. Yeah, you know about it. Yeah. Okay, I think we're done with questions. Craig, do you have any other questions haven't that you haven't asked yet? Brilliant. Craig doesn't have the question. That means nobody had the questions. Okay, guys. Then I want to say thank everybody for this, for your attention, for the possibility that you have. Craig, yeah, you can have the free NFR as a MCT. As far as I remember, email to sales at starsoftware.com. So, thank you guys. I want to wish you a great day and a perfect weekend. It's coming really soon. Okay, goodbye then. Take care of yourselves. Cheers.